InHer Circle podcast with MsHoliness, bringing you a dose of inspiration from the ground to greatness, starting now.
Welcome, people of purpose. This is the InHer Circle podcast, episode 13, entitled, What's It Gonna Be? So you guys, I am MsHoliness, and I am so happy that you decided to tune in with me for a dose of inspiration. But before we get started, here's a recap of our last episode. So our last episode, episode 12, was entitled, Now What? What now? Okay. And it was indicative of what do you do now that you've hit your highlight reels, now that you've reached your peak, okay, and you need to go to another pinnacle, a whole nother level. It's time to strategize. So in that episode, I encourage you all to go sit somewhere quiet, get quiet, you guys, and be sure to get the strategy that you need, okay, from your inner self. And like I told you all in last episode, I get my strategy from heaven, all right? So mine comes from God. He's my guide. So I get all my strategy from there. But with all, just know that we all need strategy for each and every coming season if we plan to be great. And like I always say, in the words of Zig Ziglar, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. So let's get... So, yes, wonderful people of purpose, today's episode is entitled, What's It Gonna Be? Yes, like, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna pursue purpose with everything that you have in you or no? Are you gonna win at a whole nother level in this up and coming season or no? Are you gonna give it all you got? Are you gonna go hard or go home? Or no, like what are we really doing in this up and coming season? Like I first stated in the last show, I talked about getting strategy. Okay, so when you get your strategy, now that you have your strategy, if it is a case that you heeded to the instructions and followed them to a T and went and sat somewhere quiet and got the strategy needed and necessary for your up and coming season. So now that you got the strategy, what are you going to do? Are you in it to win it? Because if you're not in it to win it, then you might as well not even play the game. Get out. Pack it up and go home. In this season, you can't be cavalier with your purpose. You got to go harder than you've ever gone before. You have to seek to do the things which you thought were impossible. But seemingly they become possible when you give it all you got. And I mean, every year with the new year, people make New Year resolutions. They say, I'm going to do this year, and I'm going to do that this year, and I'm going to do this, that, and the third. And I've been guilty of it in a season or two, okay? It wasn't a New Year's resolution, but it was just a goal that I set for myself in a given year, and I did not get it done. Like, I dropped the ball tremendously. I let everything that was going on around me affect me to the degree where I couldn't be productive. And that's what we want to avoid in seasons to come. So now that I've weathered and mastered how to avoid doing that, I want you all to hone in and tap into how to avoid being unproductive in your own lives. I want you guys setting goals, be it them New Year's resolutions or just things that you have on your bucket list to get done in a given year or a given season. I want you guys to crush goals endlessly, and I want you to do it in the given time that you set for yourself. I don't want you to delay things. I don't want you to procrastinate. I don't want you to put things off. I don't want you to let life and its problems stop you from pursuing purpose and excellence. I had to decide within myself personally that I wasn't going to continue to allow life and its problems and its setbacks to continue to set me back in the area of my purpose, and that I was going to be diligent and steadfast and unmovable like I was in times past. You know, sometimes you just need a reminder, all right? You just need that reminder to remember who you are and what you're capable of. Like for me, I'm one of those people that when I set my mind to do something, it's pretty much done. The only thing, like I first stated in times past, that stopped me were setbacks. But now I even know how to get through the setbacks. I kind of keep my eye on the goal, which is on the prize, all right? I keep my eye centered on the prize and on the end game, so that I assure myself that I complete what it is that I'm working towards and that I follow it through to completion. Because, you know, it's so easy to use the excuse of, well, this is going on in my life right now, so I can't get this done. And this is going, you know, so on and so forth. And let me be the first to say, there was a time period in my life where I was going through hell, you guys. And everybody around me was basically like, just give up, just throw in the towel. And I persevered in that season, all right? I made it out. And I triumphed. I got stuff done in that season that seemed impossible, stuff that people didn't think that I was going to be able to get done. I published a book. I did a lot of public speaking. I rubbed elbows with some big names in industry. Like, I did so many things. And seemingly when my life was at ease, soldier, and there was peace all around, and I was persevering in my purpose, but then I hit like a brick wall. I like came to a standstill. I'm not even going to hold you guys. And it felt impossible to get anything done. For instance, my book, Getting Up with Purpose. You guys should have got that book 2 years ago in my mind. And God keep, sending people to tell me to write the book. And at first there was a barrier to the degree where I didn't really want to tell the story because I had to talk about some things that I went through that actually hurt, some unpleasantries. And it involved people that I love, like my family and friends. Well, I want to say my family because a lot of friends that I had then I don't have anymore. My cutoff game became strong after I saw how people really felt about me. Even within the dynamics of my familial circle, I have set some boundaries there with certain people because I found out how they felt about me. So there's nothing wrong with perfectly setting boundaries too within your familial circle. So don't just think that that's relegated to friends, all right? And with all, we are to always love everyone, even when setting boundaries in our lives to keep our peace, all right, to maintain our peace. But let me get back at the ranch. So this book has been like a lot to write. But with all, I'm back on course. I'm hoping that by the grace of God, I'll be able to release it in the spring. I'm looking for a spring release by the grace of God. I cannot prolong Getting Up with Purpose anymore. You see, guys, as a believer, because y'all know I'm a Christian, I always give y'all the disclaimer. I'm learning that God allowed me to go through those experiences because they're going to become shared experiences, which means that my book is going to help someone else to keep getting up and keep getting up with purpose as it was intended to do by God. So in this season, I am committed to getting it done. I'm not letting nothing stop me. I'm going to use the same tenacity that I used in times past and work with the same drive to make sure that I complete a thing. Because this story needs to be told, and it's the first time that I'm doing a memoir. Because I've written poetry, I've written a fictional book, and now this is my memoir. So this is why this has been quite the task. But I'm going to get it done by the grace of God, and you guys will see it next year, and we will have a cute photo shoot for the book. So I'm going to get dressed up and take some pictures and put my face on the book, which is something that I hate doing. People who follow me all across social media know that in times past I thought it was so cheesy to plaster yourself all over your books, but the Lord told me that I had to do this time so that people can put a face with the name, MsHoliness. Because essentially God gave me that name. It wasn't the name that I sought after. I was fine with being Adrian, okay? I was fine with being Adrian. I was fine with being a Dom Diva. I was fine with being the Scorpion. And yes, I used to call myself the Scorpion. Guys, don't judge me. Don't judge me. But thank God that he got me together, and I am MsHoliness for the win. Yes, MsHoliness for the win. I'm his prize fighter, his champion prize fighter. And I'm going to make my Father proud, Father God, because he has been so good to me. And I just want to get everything done that he has tasked to my hands. And I would that you all would endeavor to get all of your tasks done that have been placed in your hands according to the ingenuity of God, whether you know it's the ingenuity of God or not. God placed every creative, witty idea down on the inside of you. On the inside of you for you to make use on your gifts, okay, so that they can prosper you while you're here living this thing called life. Well, we're just going to take a commercial break really briefly, and we'll be back in a moment.
And now a word from our sponsors. Nerd Boy Rich Clothing for your hottest urban streetwear. MHW Creations, servicing all your literary needs. And Ace the Weave Doctor, hair extensions done right. For sponsorship opportunities, inquire within. And now back to the program.
So yes, that was a word from our sponsors, and we're back from our commercial break. And I just want to jump right back into it. What's it gonna be? So now that we know that we have to go hard or go home and finish our tasks that have been tasked to our hands and follow everything through to completion in order to fulfill our dreams and goals where destiny and purpose is concerned, what's it going to be? I mean, are you going to step up to the plate? Are you going to get it done? Yeah, I believe you're going to step up to the plate and get it done. And why? Because you have greatness within you, okay? You guys have greatness within you. You have persevering power within you. And there's a power presence inside of you that won't let you stop. Nope, can't stop, won't stop. Even if you guys took a break, all right? You had to take a break. You put everything on pause. Now it's time to press play and pick back up with purpose and get it done in this season. So I hope that you are feeling inspired, and I hope that you all are feeling encouraged. And I'm hoping that what it's going to be is that I'm going to see many of you bringing all of the purpose, plans, goals, dreams, and visions to fruition that you have on the inside of you. You know, the things that you wrote down when nobody was looking. Yes, I'm ready to see it now. We need to peep into what you wrote down. We need to see the vision in real time. So with that being said, we're going to roll over into today's hot button topic, and it's just about money, you guys. I want to know, how do you guys feel about inflation right here in America? It's like gas prices, food, and bills. Oh my. I mean, it seems everything is going through the roof. It seems everything has gone through the roof. And I foretold this in a prophecy that I released over on Facebook at MsHoliness Writes. But you know, a lot of y'all don't follow MsHoliness Writes, and y'all don't come and get this foreknowledge before everything begins to roll out and happens. But in the future, make sure y'all go over and follow MsHoliness Writes on Facebook. And make sure you guys are following MsHoliness on Instagram, all right, where I do release snippets of prophetic releases, foreknowledge, insight, foresight, that I give all across social media platforms when I get downloads, all right, affirmation from God. So you guys need to be in the know, and that's how you get in the know, get in the loop, get connected. Yeah. So don't just get connected to me vis-a-vis the InHer Circle podcast, but make sure you get connected to me on MsHoliness Writes and the other various platforms that I use, because you never know what I'm going to release on either platform. But with whatever I release, there's always something that the masses, you need to know. So yes, and like I was saying, all of this inflation is going on, is carrying on here, there, to and fro. They charging you for bags at the grocery stores, you guys. They charging you for bags everywhere. And I've seen that done before, where they charge for bags at a grocery store. There was this little ranky-dank grocery store in Philly called Save-A-Lot. I didn't shop in there, but my grandma would slide through there every now and then. Me per se, when I was an adult, I've never went and Save-A-Lot and brought myself anything. And that's no shade and no pun towards nobody in the Philadelphia region or any other region that has Save-A-Lot that shops out of there. I just choose not to shop in there because I eat a lot of organic things, and Save-A-Lot don't have anything organic in there on their shelves. But with all, it's kind of like everything is high through the roof, high. The economy is doing both good and bad. It's doing good for a handful of people. On the other hand, it's really bad for others, all right? So I know we got the holidays and everything coming up, and I just want you guys not to go out here and overexert yourselves. Your children, your loved ones, your families, they will understand. They will. And even though I don't celebrate holidays anymore, I did at a point, and I used to go crazy doodle around the holidays. But that's not the case no more, because like I said, I don't celebrate them. But I don't want you guys to get carried away if it is the case that you are being affected or impacted negatively by this inflation that is going on as a result of this pandemic, all right? As a part of this pandemic that is spiral out of control. It's kind of like they came up with this plan to depopulate, and now it is backfiring severely. It's costing the world powers that be plenty of money, okay? Some people stand to make a lot of money during the pandemic, during a recession, during a depression. But then you have others who are losing money, and it's driving the deficit through the ceiling. Like I know lately, there's been a lot of smash and grabs out on the West Coast. Customs have been stopping merchandise from getting through from China, which y'all don't need to be buying that fake merchandise anyway. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not here to judge you. But yeah, it's just a lot of unique things going on right now, and America seems to be cracking down on things now that they didn't typically care about in the past. And then with that, like I said, smash and grabs, people are stealing at an alarming high. And not only are people stealing, but home invasions have increased stupendously, okay? It's just crazy. I talked about that too over at MsHoliness Writes like a year or a year and a half ago. But you guys, with all, I want you to shop responsibly, and I want you to shop smart during this holiday season if it is the case that you do celebrate the holidays and you want to partake in the fair. And I know that they came out with all of these forepay, afterpay systems, Klarna, and everybody in between. But don't buy into the hype, you guys, because they'll let you run that stuff up. They'll let you run up a bag, and then they're going to be coming knocking, looking for their money. And if you already in the red, all right, which means you already struggling to make ends meet and there's a deficit and you trying to get by, you barely getting by, please do not go out here and rack up even more debt on top of yourself. We want to live as stress-free as possible as people of purpose. And if you are in debt, we want to endeavor, do our best, try to do our best to crawl out of the debt hole, the wormhole that is debt. And that's essentially all I wanted to talk about on today's hot button topic. Just, just be wise stewards over what you have in your behest. Steward it properly so that you can stretch it. And also, if you are a person who is experiencing a deficit right now due to everything that is going on in this crazy country, and if it is the case you didn't take any of the PPP money and you didn't get over on unemployment, okay? Yes, I said it. If you ain't scam you up some PPP money and get over on unemployment, I want you to employ yourself to find a side hustle. And if you can't find a side hustle, find another job, a side job. Work 1.5 jobs. And I say 1.5 because you're going to have one full-time gig and one part-time gig. And if you are a full-time entrepreneur and you are in the deficit, I want to ensue you to get a part-time job. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. All right. You got to make sure that you do what needs to be done for you to make sure that you are good. Make sure that your family is good and make sure that your livelihood is covered. All right. Because God's going to cover his end if you are a believer. All right. But you got to do your part. So, and even as people of purpose, period, believers and non-believers, you still have to do your part. You still have to do your part while living this thing called life. Ain't nothing just going to drop out the sky and fall in your lap. So you got to go out there and get it at times when things get hard crunched and hard pressed on every side. And please, 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 you guys, as many of you who hear this, who are very stressed out right now, don't do nothing, all right, that's going to get you some Fed time and get you some football numbers. Don't take those risks. We don't need risk takers in this hour when it comes to getting the money. We need you to risk it all to get at purpose, all right? We need you to risk some sleep. We need you to risk some vacations. We need you to risk buying certain items, all right? Just so that you can be sure that you have what you need to pursue purpose and excellence so that you can see every goal, vision, mission, and dream come to fruition and excellence, all right? But you don't go out here and do nothing super stupid or super crazy. That's going to get you some real jail time. And I'm not just talking jail time. I'm talking Fed time. I know people say that the Feds is better, but I wouldn't know, you guys. I just hope that y'all don't do nothing that I would not do. Notice I said I would not do because I'm not going on the line to get no hard money. It's just not going to happen no matter what situation I'm found in. I would rather get strategy from God, all right? The same strategy I talked about in the last episode of the podcast. I'd rather get strategy from God and get it all figured out and get it covered that way. Well, that concludes our talk for today. Thank you for joining me for episode 13 of the InHer Circle podcast entitled, What's It Gonna Be? With questions and comments, text 484-393-2730. Keyword, the InHer Circle Live. To connect with the InHer Circle podcast, follow us on Twitter at the InHer Circle _, on Instagram at the InHer Circle _ podcast, and on Facebook at the InHer Circle podcast. For sponsorship opportunities, email us at inhercirclepodcast@gmail.com. Well, this is MsHoliness signing out. I look forward to you joining me for the next episode where I aspire to lift you higher.